Delighted to have Olivier Ribet with me. Now, before we get on to what's been going on at Dassault Systèmes, how important is it for you as an organisation, as a company, to be here at Farnborough International Airshow?
Actually, thanks for having us. It's a pretty important moment for us. It's every 2 years, it's an opportunity not only to meet customers, partners, and future customers, but it's also a moment to reflect on what's happening in the industry and engage in conversations with the ecosystem at large. You are talking about sustainability. Sustainability has been seen for many, many years as sustainability of propulsion, transition to new fuel, innovation on new material. All of that is absolutely true and continues to be an area of massive investment and innovation. But sustainability is also sustainability of knowledge, skills, competencies. How do you pass the knowledge that has been developed for many, many years in this industry to do satellite, planes, etc., to the next generation of engineers who are coming out of school? And we don't have enough. So you have this massive exodus of talent and skills from the previous generation and not enough of new engineers coming to prepare the next generation of product and innovation. And that challenge is particularly interesting. This is where digitalization of knowledge, of competencies is also helping a lot in this transition to a new aviation and new space industry.
Having a presence at these sorts of air shows, Farnborough International Airshow in particular, gives you that opportunity to maybe speak to a new emerging workforce. But what are you looking forward to the most this week then in particular?
So there are several customers coming from different countries across the world, so this is an opportunity to meet all of them one by one, but also start to connect the dots. As you see in the press everywhere in the world these days, you have two options. Either we go in separation of competencies, separation of companies, separation of ecosystems, or we start to blend to create enough of critical mass, to share cost, to share innovation, to imagine new norms, new standards, new protocols, and that requires a lot of collaboration. So you can do that in Zoom, you can do that by email, or you can do it in person. And I think that this is the fundamental transformation that is happening right now, is that people realize that investing in digitalization doesn't prevent you from having this kind of face-to-face interaction. So the more we go into digital, the more we go into artificial intelligence, the more we will need events like that, where you can have face-to-face conversations.
I think COVID brought that to light, didn't it? We went through a year or so, everybody's sitting on Zoom calls and other platforms.
Correct. And this is when this kind of ecosystems start to flourish, not by declaring them in an abstract term, but really in making it real and physical in the interaction.
We stay on sustainability a minute. We hear a lot about sustainability in the A&D sector, but what are the major developments that you're seeing within sustainability and A&D?
I think that historically sustainability was seen as something to do by law, by obligation. And more companies have realized that not only it's a given, it's something that you absolutely need to do, there is no way to escape, but when you think about it smartly, it's actually a way of reinventing who you are as a company, what your purpose as a company is, and also to reimagine entirely the product portfolio and even your business model. And there has been a level of maturity in the last 4 to 5 years in the way of thinking about sustainability that is way higher today than it used to be. So among the many developments that we have seen happening in the last few years, there is an intensification for the need of collaboration, for sure. But more and more companies start to realize that being just transactional, I tell you to do this and you answer to me if you can do it or not, is a very limiting factor for innovation, for true sustainable innovation. So how do you enter in a dialogue where you can start to run what-if scenario? And the complexity of the information that you have to deal with is so significant that running what-if scenarios on top of that is almost impossible. And this is where we have, for many, many years, put at the core of the innovation process a systemic way, system thinking and system design and model-based enterprise and model-based system engineering. We're called Dassault Systèmes, by the way, not by chance. It's really the core of what we do. And when you start to apply system thinking and system engineering in the way of imagining a future aircraft, a future satellite, etc., suddenly you think requirements, function, logic, and physics, not only as a way of establishing a technical dialogue between engineering and manufacturing, but also as a way of elevating the raison d'être, the purpose of this product. And this is where you can introduce sustainability at the core of the thought process. Not at the end to say, oh, by the way, are we sustainable? No, you are sustainable from the get-go, sustainable for manufacturing, for operation, for in-services. And so this is a pretty profound transformation that is happening. So system engineering and system thinking. The other one is the massive level of investments that are done right now in the industry, in aerospace and defense, around modeling and simulation technologies. Being able to model and simulate multiphysics, the fluidic, the thermodynamics, the radio frequencies, the electromagnetism, the behavior of a new material, etc., ahead of time, is also a mechanism that allows companies to contract the time massively between a first idea and a flying prototype. And we have seen that with a lot of startups. Many of them are around us, powered entirely with the 3D Experience platform of Dassault Systèmes, but also with big, large companies who are doubling down on their efforts around modeling and simulation.
It gives companies, organizations a head start almost, because they can do the modeling without having to put it into action to see how it reacts.
Correct, and it's done with scientific software where the laws of physics, of material science, etc., are embedded, which means that you can run virtual twins as many times as you want, making all the crazy mistakes you can make, and validate that virtually before going in the real world. Or do the other way around. Recapture with new technologies of 3D capture the real world, re-inject it in a virtual twin and say, okay, how can we make these things that already exist better? So whether you start from the virtual and go to real, or real to virtual, these technologies transform entirely the way of thinking about an entire life cycle of a product, from its inception to the repurposing or recycling or refurbishing.
And it feels like it's a very exciting future as opposed to a daunting future. Thank you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you.